and welcome to the Commit to Change podcast, otherwise known as C2C, that gives a voice to the people who may be considered a small fry in their industry, but are doing big things in their communities. And this is Miss Nikki, the Jane of all trades, but the master of living. I am committed to introducing local VIPs, which are vivaciously inspiring people to encourage you on your daily journey, as well as know what is possibly happening around you in your area. And as always, we have a super funky fly guest in the house that I would like to introduce, the woman of the hour, Movell Dash. Woo! You want to say hi to the people, Movell?
Hey, I don't know if I can live up to that introduction. I'm not sure if I'm super fly and funky, but I'm going to try. Hey, everybody.
So let me tell you a little bit about Miss Movell. Now, having spent most of her adult life caring for others in one capacity or another, as a mother, a sister, or aunt, Movell is now on her own journey of self-discovery. Movell is on a mission to help people achieve their forgotten goals and dreams, and she helps people to discover the beauty of nurturing themselves as well as others. She's qualified as a personal development and strength coach, a barrister and project manager. She has enjoyed working with a variety of people and helping them to lead more fulfilled and purposeful lives based on their goals and aspirations. In addition, she is a motivational and inspirational speaker and has spoken to senior leaders and teams in the civil service and the private sector on topics related to coaching, personal development, aspirations, and career development. She has also spoken to leaders and their teams in corporate settings, advising on diversity development programs. She also speaks to women's groups about achieving success on their own terms. And as a mentor, Movell spent years working with school and university students and currently mentors clients in the corporate and education industry. She's a very busy woman. She is also delivering goals and aspiration workshops to primary school children. She is passionate. She's motivated to help people achieve their highest potential and is committed to doing this through her work as a coach, mentor, and speaker. Wow, wow, wow. And did I say wow?
When I hear it, I want to say wow too.
Well, I want to thank you so much for joining us today, Movell. It is definitely a pleasure and an honor to have you today. Yay!
It's an honor to be here. I'm very pleased to be talking to you.
Awesome. So she is taking her she's taking a break from her busy life to talk to us. And so I want to go ahead and get started. So Miss Movell, Miss Dash, or Miss Dashy Diva, I don't know what to call you.
Most fine.
Yes. Please give us a little background on your life and just you in general, please.
Okay, so I'm a mother first and foremost. I have a beautiful daughter. She's 16. So she's just come to the end of her GCSEs here in the UK. They do their exams at 16. So she's just finished doing those and is enjoying a beautiful summer. I think that's my most important job in life because it's one where I have someone else's life in my hands. And so it's something I take seriously and something I prioritize above all else. But on top of that, I am as you said, a barista, which is, I don't make coffee, folks. I
say it wrong.
Don't come to me for your coffee because you'll get water. It doesn't taste good. I don't drink coffee, so I can't make coffee. So I'm a barista, which is in UK terms, it's a lawyer, but one who goes into court. So in US terms, I'd just be a lawyer. But yeah, I'm a qualified lawyer. I don't practice at the moment. I'm a D&I specialist, which is a diversity and inclusion specialist. That's what I do for my day job. But my passion is coaching. And I recently qualified, not recently, about a year or so ago, qualified as a strengths coach. And what that is someone who works with an individual to highlight and develop their strengths. As society has us believe that we should be working on developing our weaknesses all of the time. So we know what we're good at, but we know what we're not good at, and we spend all of our time working on trying to make that better. but there are studies that show that no matter how much you try, you will never get your greatest weakness to be as strong as your greatest strength. So why not just make yourself happy and focus on what you're great at and find ways to develop and use those strengths on a daily basis to raise your self-esteem and to increase your productivity. So that's where my primary focus is as a coach, but I also coach on career stuff and personal development things. I'm a mentor to people in the corporate world, but also to students, and I'm a speaker. I go out and speak on various things. I'm doing a series of events this summer looking at fear and imposter syndrome. So I'm doing one on Monday in Manchester and another one coming up on the 14th of August in London and another one on the 17th of September in Belgium. So.
Awesome. So I apologize for yesterday. If you don't know what I'm talking about, the game.
Listen, I cannot stand football, which is very uncommon. So I really don't care. I was indoors, just chilling. I didn't hear any noise outside, so I figured that we didn't win. When we win, like noise all up and down the street. So I'm good.
Well, if you look at where I had the backing of, let me see, not the backing, I was in support of, or would have naturally been in support of, I would guess you would say 3 different teams, maybe 4. So of course that would be the U.S. They were gone.
They didn't play.
Germany, Panama, of course, I was all in it because that was our first time in. So even though we didn't make it further, I was like, yeah.
You were in it. So.
Yes. And then Colombia, of course, because once upon a time, Panama was a part of Colombia.
Right.
So they were cheated. But anyway, that's a different conversation. I'm not even a big soccer fan or football fan. It just so happens my husband watches it. So I watched it with him. So, all right, let's continue on. So you have to tell me what inspired you to make a commitment to change your life, just to make that commitment to give and do for other people.
That would be easy for me. It's a sad thing, but it's what inspired me to make a change in my life was my sister. So I had a sister who passed away 3 years ago. But she was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, MS, and she had that for about almost 20 years. So she died 3 years ago at the age of 44, but her life was affected by MS for about 20 years before that. So she was very young when she lost the ability to live fully. So for me, when she was ill, I was inspired to make changes, but I kind of did a lot of procrastinating and going back and forth, which we'll touch on later. But when she passed away, that was the real inspiration for me, because it just felt wrong to not live life fully when someone so young, so vibrant, so full of promise wasn't able to live and is now passed away. So for me, that was my big inspiration to make change, because life isn't promised.
Right. And so since making this change, what do you think has been your biggest obstacle?
So those would be 2 things, time and fear. Time being because I do have a lot to do. And so sometimes prioritizing things can be very difficult. And fear being fear of failure, fear of not being good enough, and kind of just living in my head with that. And that kind of really keeps me inactive. So those are the 2 biggest obstacles, I think.
Which are big obstacles for a lot of people to tackle. And of course, we know time, we never can extend it, but we definitely can do things to pocket out,
right?
Single out things to do during that time. So I want to ask you, what have you done or what are you doing to overcome those things?
So in terms of time, what I try to do is make sure that I am looking at what's most important to me and prioritizing those things first. Because we know in life, like you said, we never have enough time and we can't grow time, which we could. We'd all be rich if we could. But we all know that the things that are most important to us get done almost by default. So even when we don't have time we still manage to feed our children. We still manage to get up and go to work, because those are the things that are important, right? So we have to find the way to prioritize the things that are important to us. And so for me, it's about thinking about what is most important to me and fitting those things in first, and then everything else gets done when it gets done. So that's the first thing. And in terms of fear, coming into the strengths coaching has really helped me with the fear. So I have done a strengths assessment myself. I know what my strengths are, and I use those on a daily basis and look for opportunities to use those. And what that does is that solidifies in my mind where I'm really good at things. And I'm able to then look at that and say, okay, so you can do this because this is what you're good at. And that helps to keep me in action and helps me to kind of eliminate the fear from my mind about not being good enough or failing. If I stay in my lane, as it were, and stick to what my strengths are, I know that I'm going to be good. I can keep moving in the right direction, and I can keep doing the things that are important to me because I'm good at them. So that's for me, that's the biggest thing, is being able to identify where I'm strong and sticking at those things and doing those things regularly. And I find that what happens is I build confidence, and even things that I'm not great at, because I'm more confident, I'm willing to try them. I'm willing to step more outside of my comfort zone to do those things because I can identify what I am good at and lean on those things when I get a bit scared.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And what do you, or I should say, like during the decision making, during the process, who would you say has been your biggest supporter?
That's an easy one. I have a really good tribe of sisters and friends, and they are very, very supportive. So my oldest sister is, one of my best friends. We talk all the time. She's a constant source of support for me and a constant source of encouragement. But then I also have really good friends who will just they'll send the right message at the right time. Mm-hmm. And I count you amongst those people. So there have been times when I've been feeling pretty down or whatever, and out of the blue I'll get a message from you, and that will kind of inspire me and cheer me up. I'll hear what you're doing. You'll say the right thing to me, and I'm surrounded by people like that in my life. So I think it's really important to establish a really good tribe that are always going to build you up when you're feeling down, but also give you a kick in the ass when you need that. And I have that in my life. So that for me is a really good way of getting support.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'm honored that I'm one of the people. Yeah.
Oh.
That's awesome. So how do you feel you are adding value to your community?
Community for me is very important. And so I look for ways to give back to my community. And I've always done that. So when my daughter was in primary school, her school didn't have a PTA, so I set that up. And then I moved on to become a parent governor at her school. I've been a governor at different schools. And for those people who don't know what governor is, it's just like the school has a governing body that is responsible for hiring the headmistress or the head of the school. It's also responsible for looking after the curriculum, looking after the building, looking after children, doing exclusion hearings, that kind of stuff. So I sit on that board of the school, so it's like a school board. And I do that voluntarily. I've been doing that for many years. I've just recently taken a step back from that because my daughter's finished school, so I'm not being a parent governor at her school. But I also go into schools and mentor girls in particular, because I think that young girls need to see an example of what's possible in a professional environment. So I go to schools and I work with schools. I mentor people who are less fortunate. I mentor people in the corporate space. And most recently, which I'm really loving, is doing the workshops with children in primary schools, teaching them about goal setting and aspirations and identifying their strengths. So I'm doing that with children who are sort of age 11, getting ready to move into secondary school, which would be high school in the States. And I think it's a really good time to catch them and start talking about their goals and having them thinking about that as they move through school life. So it's fun. We take them through vision boards and all kinds of stuff like that. And for me, that's my way of being able to kind of give back to my community. It's using what I've learned and taking that back into the community so it can help other people.
Awesome. Now, there are a lot of people who it's very hard for them to step out of that, the box syndrome, or from what they feel like family or friends want them to become or be. Mm-hmm. And I have to ask, since you've made that decision in your life, do you feel that you are more fulfilled, more stressed, or like what's the difference between your quality of life from then to now?
I think stress will always be a factor, and I think it will for everybody. Mm-hmm. Because no matter how happy you are, there's always something that comes along to provide a little bit of stress. But I have to say that I'm happier now because I feel like I'm fulfilling a purpose and I'm doing what I'm passionate about. So I think it's important for everyone to find out what they're passionate about and do something towards that. Even if you can't do it full time, I don't coach full time. I can't afford to do that right now. But I do it part time, and I do it because I'm passionate about it. And that helps me to get up and go to my day job on the days I don't feel like doing it, because I know that I have something else in my life that I'm passionate about. So I think it's really important that people embrace what they're passionate about, find it first, and do something with that.
And what advice would you give someone who is sitting on the fence of their field and they may be passionate about something, but they're still, they can't get that extra oomph to take it to the next level? What advice would you give to someone?
I would say just get up and do something now. Because the thing is, we sit and we spend lots of time in our heads worrying about stuff. So we'll say, I really want to do that, but the time's not right. Or I really want to do that, but I'm not good enough. Or I really want to do that, but someone else is doing it already. And so we spend all of this time having this inward dialogue that keeps us inactive. And that's because we're tied to the outcome. So what I would say to somebody is, don't think about the outcome, because the longer you think about the outcome is the longer you stay inactive. So decide what you're passionate about and take action towards that today and every day after today. Whether that's something small or something big, it could be just for today, writing down what your goals are. And then tomorrow, looking at how you can make that goal happen. Then the day after, contacting someone towards something to do with that one goal. And then after that, do something else and something else and something else. But make sure that you're doing something every single day and stop worrying about the outcome. Because if we could predict the outcome, then we probably would never get started if we thought the outcome was going to be negative, right? And our learning comes from our failures. So you need to just get on, do something now, and don't worry about the outcome. The outcome's going to be what it's going to be, and you'll deal with it.
Right. All right, well, here comes the fun, our lightning round, kind of, sort of lightning round. So I'm going to ask you a series of questions, 5 questions, and you just got to answer them on the fly. Well, short answers, whatever, give your best answer to the question. Because lightning is supposed to be quick, fast, on fire, hit you, blah, 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 but let's see what happens. All right, so if anything, what initially held you back from making that commitment to change your life?
Me. Just living up here too much, being in my head too much.
And what is the best advice you have ever received? Find
your voice. Learn to articulate what it is that you want, because if you don't do that, nothing will ever change. So learn to speak up for yourself. Find your voice.
Now, share a personal habit that contributes to your success.
That's easy. Meditation and journaling for me. And
awesome.
I do those every day. They keep me centered.
Awesome. And what book would you recommend to the C2C tribe, and why?
There are a couple that are really good, but the one that springs to mind right now would be The Year of Yes by Shonda Rhimes.
Yeah.
That book really kind of forces you to take action and makes you really want to get up and do stuff. And you can implement it in your life. You don't have to do it for a whole year. I read the book and sent the book to a couple of girlfriends, and then we decided we were going to have a season of yes. And so for that season, we found things we wanted to do, and we held each other to account, and we did them. So a really inspirational book that gets you into action.
Yes. I have to agree with that. Now, if you found out that you only had 1 hour left to live, and you were given the opportunity to share one final message, what would it be?
So that would just be a continuation of what I was saying before. Take action on your dreams daily. But in order to do that, you have to be able to forgive yourself. Because we spend a lot of time focusing on what we haven't done, or what we did do but didn't do correctly, and we dwell on that, and that just keeps us inactive. In order to take action, you have to be in a good place. So to be in a good place, you have to forgive yourself. So if you get up today and you don't do something that you were supposed to do, forgive yourself, move on, do it the next day. Don't keep dwelling on the past. Learn to forgive yourself.
Wow. Powerful words of wisdom from the most awesome Movell Dash. So I have to say, how can our audience find out more about you and what you're doing?
So I'm in the process right now of building a website. It'll be finished in a couple of weeks. So you can for the most part, for now, you can contact me by my email, which is, I'll give it to you. I know you have it, so you can put it in your link, but it's modas, MODAS, personal development, all one word, at gmail.com. And if you email me there, I'll send you a copy of my free ebook, which is on the topic of imposter syndrome. So that's where you feel like you're an imposter, you feel like you're not good enough, and you feel like you shouldn't be doing the things that you're doing. And the book's about how to overcome that. So if you contact me on my email address, I'll send you a copy of that. Or in a few weeks' time, you can be on my website, and I'll give Nikki the details of that.
Awesome. So we'll also include the link to your email as well, so that way people can get to you if they didn't catch it while you were speaking.
Yep.
We are super ecstatic that we had you here today. I just want to say that is a wrap. I want to thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Movell Dash.
This was fun. So thank you very much for having me on.
You're welcome. You're an awesome VIP guest here on the C2C podcast. And we also want to thank you to, we also want to say thank you to all of our listeners for tuning in. We hope you feel inspired to keep moving forward towards your goals and stick with or make a commitment to change your life. Please make sure to check out the links provided by our guests and share today's podcast and information with anyone you feel may benefit from it. And remember, in order to get to the top of the steps, you have to take the first step. Just don't step on anyone on the way, because you just might trip. This is Miss Nikki. Till next time.